I am Jessica Butts. Welcome to the Front Seat Life podcast, where I help you learn to be unapologetically who you are and live your life from the front seat through personal development, self-awareness, and real and raw conversations about life, love, and business. I'm a former psychotherapist and couples counselor turned author, speaker, coach, and lovingly, well, I hope so anyway, been nicknamed Jessica Kick Butts because I believe sometimes we need hand holding and sometimes we just need to be told the freaking truth, even if it hurts a little. So each week I'll be sharing truth bombs, life lessons, powerful interviews, and intuitive insights to empower you to get up, show up, and live your life in a new, powerful, authentic way. So if you're ready to climb into your front seat and embark on a journey of total transformation, you have come to the right place. Start your engines. Let's do this. Hey, Front Seat Lifers, it is your host, Jessica Butts, and always I am thrilled to be here, but a little less thrilled today, if I'm being honest, because I am sick in my back seat and I have a million things to do. So I am circumventing, if that's the right word, or interrupting the normally scheduled programming for today. I promised you, which you will still get, a series of debunking myths. But part of my values as a coach, a former therapist, doing this podcast, is to always keep it real and to be unapologetically who I am. And I need to do an episode, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because it's going to come off fake and insincere, because I'm sick and I'm exhausted and I don't want to do it. I just actually recorded the episode that I really want to share with you. I think it's profound and I think you will enjoy it if you are a strong, powerful, ambitious woman like myself. And it's important enough for me, even though I absolutely believe in the know, like, trust factor, that if I say I'm going to do something, I try 90% of the time to do it. So for those of you who have been waiting for the S and N debunking myths, I promise it will come. But I value transparency, authenticity, and openness more than a schedule. There, I said it. I just believe in that more. And this is on my mind. It's more powerful and it's more relevant in this moment than a debunking the myths episode. So I'm in my backseat. I'm also very ill, probably the most sick that I've been in a long time. And it's that important for me to give you this episode that I'm doing it as ill as I am. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that it resonates. If you're not a strong, ambitious, domineering, awesome woman, you may not love this episode, but at least half of my audience is a very strong J personality type. You are an ambitious woman. You push harder than you need to push, and you know who you are because that's me. And that just landed with you. So for those of you who love some structure, I'm sorry. I will be back next week where I will promise to finish off these debunking episodes because they are awesome and there's great content. But again, I value more connection, being unapologetically who I am, and authenticity and transparency. And I just got to keep it real with you guys. So I am interrupting regularly scheduled programming to bring you this episode this week. And I hope you love it. I hope you love it. I hope you will reach out and let me know what you think. Thanks for listening, guys. Hello, Front Seat Lifers. It is your host, Jessica Butts, and I am guessing you are already sensing an energy difference in me. And today is I'm calling it a bonus episode, but it is an episode. I'm actually going to do 2 episodes on this because I feel like I want to separate these 2 topics. But today is how being an ambitious woman almost ruined my life. And I love doing this podcast for a number of reasons. I love educating. I love sharing, my information that I know as being a Myers-Briggs expert and a former psychotherapist and couples counselor. I love educating. But one of my core values on this show is to be vulnerable with you and to share my life experiences. So as an entrepreneur, somebody who believes in coaching and educating and showing up in this world as being unapologetically as I can, there's another side to this podcast, to my education, to my life, that is easier to do on a podcast and Instagram stories and things like that than it is in writing books or getting on stage or something, because it's an opportunity to be very transparent, authentic, and open, as I learned in graduate school. I don't even know I don't know who taught me this, but they call it TAO, TAO, which is transparency, authenticity, and openness, which leads to today's podcast. I am sick as a dog. I am sick. Sicker than I've been in a very long time. And the show must go on. So it's interesting. Bear with me. And it's going to be interesting to see how many of my regular listeners can even listen to this episode, because my energy is going to be like this, because this is how I am right now. And the other episode that I will do probably like this is what it's like to also be in your back seat. So I'm the double, probably even the trifecta if I could find a third thing. I'm desperately sick and I'm in my back seat, mostly because of the illness, but just some things going on in business and things also have me in my front seat. That's not true. It's currently during the coronavirus, the election, the full moon energy, and Mercury retrograde. So I lied. It's not about business at all. It's about being, as my friend Nadia Aarons and others call it, being an empath. I'm a water sign. I'm a Cancer sign. I'm also highly intuitive and a feeler. And I'm picking up all that shit. So that's another episode that will be, just watch out. I'll post it soon. But back to today, because I do feel like these are kind of 2 separate topics about your back seat and being an ambition almost ruined my life. So a couple weeks ago, actually, maybe it was just last week. I'm in such a fog. I don't really know when it was. My assistant, very long-term assistant, Stephanie, you guys have heard me talk about her. I was doing all the things. We have a huge team right now. I have a lot of clients right now. We are getting ready to launch. It actually makes me get teary just thinking about all the stuff that's going on and all the people that need me. And I told Stephanie and our new director of operations, Kristen, that I was not going to take my normal days off on Friday, and I was going to start working over the weekends until the launch. And I'm going to start doing Facebook Lives and all these things. And Stephanie said, hey, girl, you might want to slow your roll. This is a marathon right now. This is not a sprint. You need to conserve your energy. And at the time, I was super healthy, completely in my front seat. I felt unstoppable. I felt like my normal, ambitious female self. And we ambitious women, particularly J women, so SJs and NJs in particular, really of all the types. So that doesn't even matter. So that was a stupid thing to say of NJs and SJs, because it's just all kind of J women. And strong J's. I will say that too. I've met slighter J's, on the 0 to 30 scale that aren't quite as annoying in their ambition. And I know as a very strong J, and a lot of women in my life, my mastermind groups, some of my peers, our ambition feels like it's ruining our lives. And at times on today, it feels like it is. So this is that balance of the J and the P energy. So if you know that you're a J, but you may be a slight J, this may not resonate as much with you. And as a reminder, Js are doers. They are pushers. They are bossy. They're controlling. They're ambitious. They know what they want and they go after it. That is when they're in their front seat. Ps, on the other hand, are go with the flow. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. They're much less undaunted by when things do not go their way. God fucking bless them, right? I mean, God bless you, Ps. I mean, again, I tattooed the only tattoo I have and probably will ever get. I tattooed the word B on my arm. Clearly, I'm not doing a very good job of it. It's winter. Maybe it's because I have long sleeves on and I haven't been looking at it enough. I don't know. But the J in all of us, J ambitious women, that drive to never stop, to hustle, to be on our phones, to checking in with messages, to be doing our day job and also having a side hustle and trying to be the best partner that we can possibly be and, checking our messages and connecting on Facebook and Instagram and being on Marco Polo and leading a team and being the best mom and saying yes to all the charities and the whatever you guys call them, the mom things you do. What are those things called? Wow, I'm sick. PTA. That's it. Oh, you guys are screaming in your car right now, like PTA, Jessica, PTA. It's not that hard. But we are always pushing hard for the next thing. It is our natural state. It's where we prefer to be until it feels like it's ruining our lives, which it currently is. I no doubt 1000% believe I got sick because I'm pushing too hard. There's too much going on. There's a lot of pressure. We're in middle of a launch. We have a new team person. There's just a lot of expectations that I allow. I'm not stupid enough or naive enough to think that I am not 100% responsible for this, as are you, other J women. And so it may come out in a multitude of different ways. You might get sick. You might pick a fight with your spouse. You might get prickly. You might run away, which will be the other bonus episode about what it looks like to be in your back seat. But currently, there is no doubt in my mind that my adrenals likely, again, I've been checking in with a bunch of my friends today on Marco Polo, that likely what's happening to me, because I keep getting the same cold over and over again. I've had it 3 times in the same year, in this year, and today it's only March 10th. So I keep getting the same thing. And it's when J's, myself included, can't stop and rest. So the name I was going to call this was too much J and not enough P. We need more P's in our lives. You ambitious, strong, pushy, bossy, domineering women. Hey, I am one of you, so I'm not going to tell you to stop doing that. Trust me, I wear it like a badge of honor, but almost to a fault. Right? Can I get an amen? My dear friend, Jenny Dawn, who is a shamanic healer and an A+ at taking care of herself. She works 3 days a week. She turns her phone off. She just straight up doesn't answer her messages. She is amazing at setting boundaries. And she's a P. And she manages to take care of herself in a very, what feels like almost selfish way. But she does it because she knows she has to do it, as she is also in the service industry. So she's got some step kiddos and a spouse and friends, and she gives a lot to her clients. She's a shamanic healer and sees people one-on-one. And we have to learn how to balance this. We ambitious, strong, domineering, pushing women that I'm not telling you not to be, we have to learn how to have a little bit of Jenny in us. So Jenny, a couple weeks ago, we get together, we have girls' night, we talk like crazy. And I had nothing on my calendar the next day on a Friday, which I'm supposed to take the day off. And all day on Friday, when I was on my phone, literally nonstop on Slack with my team, I wasn't even necessarily, and it was wonderful. I loved it, but I was still in it. I was leading, I was pushing, I was being of service. And I was on my phone, on my couch. I can remember this day vividly, from 7 a.m. until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on my day off. And if I'm being honest, in retrospect, there was part of me that on that day was wearing it like a badge of honor. That is embarrassing to admit. That I'm so needed. God, this is really impersonal. I'm so busy. I'm so ambitious. I'm so committed to my business. God, this makes me cry thinking about it. Like, I'm so ambitious that I'm wearing this like a badge of honor, that I never slow down. So I live by myself. And I'm actually really amazing at this now that I have a partner. So we spend all weekend together pretty much every single weekend. And we just shut the world out. We joke about it all the time. We lay in bed for hours and hours and hours and hours on Saturday and Sunday mornings. We love it. It's like our favorite thing. And we joke that it's like our own little private world. We're not on social media. I mean, some people don't even know about him because I'm so compartmentalized. Yet, as a strong, busy, pushing CEO, ambitious woman. And again, you could work in corporate America and all of this is true for you too, is that we wear it like a badge of honor, and we've got to learn how to rest, because this is what happens. I mean, how many of you can think about a time when you just got taken down? That your adrenal system went away, or you just got sick, or you came up with some crazy illness, or you have stomach aches, or you just are in your backseat, whatever the thing is. We have to learn. And I'm saying this as me, obviously. I'm sharing this. When I say you, I might as well just say me, but then this whole podcast seems a little self-absorbed. Like, I'm doing this so that it hopefully is helpful to other strong, ambitious, powerful women. That is not going away. I am not going to not do that, because it is who I am. And I actually love that part of myself, but I have to learn how to set some better boundaries with my time and my energy. It's 4:13 p.m. I have been up since 5:30 in bed until 3:45 p.m. I took a nap, I worked, I journaled. A huge part of what I was journaling was, what lesson am I learning from this illness? This is not a coincidence. I mean, there's no reason that I'm sick. My partner's not sick. My friends around me aren't sick. I'm the only one who's sick. And it's because I am taxing my system. And again, this isn't about me being sick. It's about hopefully you seeing the pattern of you pushing. All right, Front Seat Lifers, this is your chance. This is your chance. All of my content for the past 10 years as a psychotherapist, a couples counselor, a coach, all the Myers-Briggs stuff, all of the Front Seat Life methodology is beautifully packaged up in a course that I am going to walk you through live, and it is coming up April 7th. We have a wait list, and it has 4 awesome freebies for you to keep you company until April 7th. The course is only open April 7th through the 21st, 2020. That is it, 2 weeks only. So we started a wait list where you have some video content. We're giving you some access to my journal that I've never given before, a fast pass into the squad, all kinds of other content to help keep you engaged until we open up. The website is jessicabutts.com. LU. The course is beautifully called Live Unapologetically, a revolutionary new approach to your personality type and having a kick butt life. Again, jessicabutts.com/LU for simplicity purposes. And I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. It's going to be 90 days of intense focus for people who are trying to figure out who they are, what they are designed to do in this world. If you are one of those people that keep asking, what am I supposed to be doing? What career should I be doing? How can I be helping people? This is the course for you. What are you innately good at? You know, all those things that people are talking about all the time of like figuring out your zone of genius and figuring out your message and figuring out your gifts. This is how you figure it out through Myers-Briggs and my revolutionary approach. I will show you what you suck at and what you need to be avoiding, what stress does to you and where it puts you. I will teach you how to speak your partner's language as they are likely the opposite type to you. This will absolutely help you understand your children better. It's tangible tools on how to get things done for your personality type. And then last but not least, truly, for the first time in your life, probably ever living unapologetically who you are. This is your chance. It's not going to be open again for at least another 6 months. So I cannot wait to see you in there and start working with you. Last chance, jessicabutts.com/LU. So I also find this interesting. So I was having a actually, Amy Porterfield talks about this a lot, and I love her new transparency. She's doing a brilliant job of being transparent on her podcast right now. And she shares a lot about how her husband, Hobie, gets hurt because her business seems like a priority over him. And as a strong, ambitious woman, I bet you can relate that we want to think, of course, our partner is our top priority. But when we are constantly on our phones, working late, pushing, returning emails when it's not appropriate, working at 9 p.m., doing all the things that we're doing, saying yes to more things, letting our clients cross boundaries when we're on vacation, or even, late at night, or we happen to return that message. Hey, I do all of this, so please don't think I'm like lecturing you. But this is what happens to us. So my friend Jenny and she called me this morning because I was such a hot mess and I just was like, I need some love. And we were talking and she said, Jessica, there's this thing that you do, which again, I wear like a badge of honor, where when I give 125%. And then it's almost like I'm in deficit when I need to retreat. So she had this interesting concept of what would it be like if you gave 80% so that you save even some of yourself for later. Like, who can relate to this? Whether you're, a workout queen, or you're the best PTA mom ever, or you're doing all the extra stuff for your kids and you're joining all the programs and organizations, or, you're like me and you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to do everything at once, yet you're really only giving about 10% to 10 different things. I had that feeling the other day. I was like, I'm breaking my cardinal rule. My cardinal rule is compartmentalization and giving 100% of my energy to the one thing that I'm doing. However, that becomes my fault when I'm trying to do 15 different things in a day. Marco Poloing my clients and leading my team and, actually seeing my clients during a day and being a good friend and being a good partner and, being a good daughter and kind of all the things that come with being an ambitious woman. And it can absolutely take its toll. It can start to ruin your life. When I thought about recording this podcast, I sat down. Actually, I thought about doing it, and I thought this name sounds familiar. So I went through where I keep all my ahas because, as an intuitive, I have a million ideas, like a million. And on my phone, my task section is where I keep all my ideas. And lo and behold, I scrolled back through all my tasks, and there was this title, but I was going to call it a book. So who knows? There may be a book in me just about this, about how we J women, strong, ambitious women, need to learn, as my coach, Kate Northup, right now would say, do less. That's her topic. I'm not going to get into her topic, but what I'm talking about is balancing this J and this P. How could you even, as my friend Jenny Dawn suggested this morning, how could you even give 80% and not 110% or 125%? Because I think I'm that person. I just go all in so fucking hard that then there's like nothing in reserves. And that's exactly, again, what's happening to my body right now. I know for a fact that this is just the universe like slapping me upside the face. I didn't listen the first 2 times it happened. I soldiered through, and this one has taken me down. And ironically, I'm still doing this. Well, one, because I think it's a great life lesson. I think others can learn from it, which is one of my core values. This is why I do some of this, is not to just, pontificate at you and throw stuff at you, but to connect and let you know like what I know about personality type, what I know about my innate self, which is like so many of you, at least half of my population listening to this podcast right now can resonate with this, because I know half of the population are J's. Most of the listeners are intuitive types, but this goes for all J women, that we push and we strive to a point of personal exhaustion, which then the obvious is we are not our best selves. Not even close. I've been in bed since 5:30 until 3:45. I had a whole day of things that I wanted and quite honestly needed to get done. And then that perpetuates, right, the cycle of all of the things that still need to get done. So I'm making a pledge. My friends. If you want to join with me, I would love for you to DM me on Instagram, leave a review on iTunes, something, and let me know if you're going to take this pledge. What do we want to call it? Let's call it the J. Let's do a hashtag J and P pledge. Let's do that. I'm going to do this. J and P pledge. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare. Here's the deal. This is what I'm going to do. I will re-tag to my 12,000 followers. I love you all. I will share your pledge. So we're going to do the J and P pledge and tag me at Front Seat Life. And I will reshare whatever your pledge is. So if it's a 15-second video, if it's a picture of you with your feet up, if it's a picture of you taking a nap, if it's you taking a walk in the middle of the day, if it's you cuddling your dog or playing with your kids, we J's have to learn how to balance this I think this is probably the biggest caveat, right? Without feeling guilty. So if I go back to that day of me on the couch, somewhat embarrassed at this point, that Friday when I'm supposed to be off, and I'm wearing it like a frickin' badge of honor. I'm so important and I can't take a rest. That's such bullshit. It's a false narrative that I have created to make myself feel important. It's a false narrative that I have built to make myself feel important. Period. End of story. And I cannot be of best service to my podcast, my private clients, my upcoming launch, my course, my team, my partner, my friends, when I'm not my best self. When I feel like I feel right now, that's doing nobody of service. So this pledge, my pledge is I am going to get back to my other half of myself, which is the P. My natural tendency until the day I die, because this is how I was born, will be to be a pushing, ambitious, strong woman. I love that about myself. That is a good part when it is balanced, so that my partner, like Amy Porterfield shares, that Hobie doesn't come and say, hey, honey, like this sucks. Why are you working so much? Or the woman in my mastermind group that had to have a serious come to Jesus meeting with herself and ask herself, is my business or my husband more important? I mean, she literally had to ask herself that. One of my colleagues. We ambitious women have got to figure out our priorities, our rocks, and learn how to balance this being and doing part. We love the doing. It makes us feel good about ourselves. That's why we do it. When I am boss ladying up and checking shit off of a list, it's a high. I mean, I'm literally like on a drug high. Yet it's impossible to maintain that all the time. It's impossible to maintain that all the time. Again, I talk about the 80-20 rule of your front seat and your back seat. The goal is 80% of the time to be in your front seat, and 20% inevitably is in your back seat. But when you can choose your back seat versus like right now, I'm thrown into mine, that sucks. The goal is 80% of the time to be hustling, to be ambitious, to be going after it. And then by choice, 20% of the time resting. And I actually don't think that includes Saturdays and Sundays, because we're also giving to other people. Like you moms, you are at soccer games and doing all the things. You know, I have a partner that I absolutely love and adore and love spending time with him. Yet I'm still not necessarily just caring for myself, right? There's other needs that are I'm giving to somebody else, which I love to do. So that then means at least a day a week, how are you doing self-care? And I know for a lot of you that work 9 to 5, that sounds impossible. So how do you take at least a night a week or 3 or 4 days a month off for self-care? My pledge is to stay off my phones in the evening, set boundaries and they're non-negotiable, I guess. They're non-negotiable. And to honor my Fridays. It's my one day a week where I get to feel like a normal human being. I know this is so stupid, but it's the days like I go to Target and I go like buy groceries and I just I clean my own house on Fridays. It makes me feel like a normal person, not an ambitious, pushing, strong CEO, creator of all of this stuff that I'm doing, or a partner. It's just life. And I literally crave those days. And so that's the pledge. This is what I'm asking us to do. #J&P pledge. And tag me, Front Seat Life. And I cannot wait. In fact, I may circumvent my calendar. I had another episode coming out Friday, but I'm so passionate about this right now. I may actually post this for this Friday so that this episode can go out, so that we can start this conversation on Instagram and start it sharing how we as strong, ambitious J women are choosing to embrace some P energy, some being energy. So I want to see your pledge. I want to see what you're going to be participating in, how you can relax a little bit, and how you can implement this into your life so that hopefully you're not sick as well, but don't have what I've got right now, because I 100% created this. All right, my friends, this meant to be a bonus episode of like 10 minutes and it's 28 minutes in. So thank you for listening. As always, share this with any strong, beautiful, gorgeous, ambitious women that you know. And let's start this pledge. All right, bye. All right, everybody, here is today's type tip. This is a funny one. They're probably all pretty funny, but this is a great one. So S's, sensors, love facts. That is literally how they take in information via their five senses, factually based. If they can touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it, see it, it is a fact. That is just how they function in life. And the reality is, intuitives ends don't really care about facts. I know that seems ridiculous, but they don't. We don't. I'm an intuitive, and I have been called out on that most of my life. I remember once I was giving a presentation and I said something about this, and one of the people in the audience said, "How did you ever graduate graduate school?" And a lot of people were like, "Ooh, like that was so mean." But I just laughed it off because I was like, I get it. Intuitives are just not people who read facts in a book and don't somehow either not believe it or want to challenge it or just don't care, because they're always kind of creating new ways and new possibilities. So again, sensors and intuitives are so different in a lot of ways, but this is one of the main ways. From the bottom of my heart, truly, thank you so much for listening. I know that you have a ton of options, and the fact that you are taking time to listen to the Front Seat Life podcast means absolutely everything to me. If you're interested in learning more about the Front Seat Life way of life in the community, there's a couple ways that you can do that. First is always starting with your personality assessment tool. It's available on my website at jessicabutts.com. It's totally free, and it will help you figure out your personality type so you'll have some idea of what we're talking about. Next is, if you're interested in hiring me for a keynote or some coaching or strategy days or the fabulous and amazing Front Seat Life community, you can find out all about all of that at jessicabutts.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.